Hi, this is Leo from Maverick Investor. Tell me this, you're a property investor. How would you like to reduce your mortgage costs by 30% or 50% or even 60% a month? That's quite a compelling idea, isn't it? Well, there is a way of doing it, and I'd like to just give you a little bit of a rundown as to how that all works right now. This is just an introduction. I'll go into it a little bit more depth in future videos. Let me just make it clear that this is for investors only. If you are not a property investor, if you've only got your own home, then this will not work for you at this time. So that's one thing to make clear. The other thing to make clear is I'm in the UK, but it doesn't matter because this will work for you if you're in Australia, New Zealand, Western Europe, the US. This should work for you fine as well. The basic premise of property investing is that you buy a property, you get a mortgage on it, and you put a tenant in, and the tenant covers the mortgage and pays you a little bit on top. Well, that's fine, that works. The problem in the UK, as you'll know if you're based here, is that the little bit on top is really small, and there's not really very much left over at the end of the month. And I know for a fact that in Australia, quite often investors are having to supplement their portfolios by paying more to the mortgage each month than is covered by the rent, which is a ludicrous situation as far as I can see. So the big cost is the mortgage. How do you get it down? Well, here's the myth. There's a big myth around that nobody really talks about, but it's always assumed. If your portfolio is in the UK, then there's an assumption that you have to have a sterling mortgage, and it has to be with a British bank. That simply isn't true. There are 6 or 7 major currencies around the world, and you can have your mortgage denominated in any one of those with a bank in that country. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's interesting because different countries have different base rates and different mortgage rates, which means that you could, in theory, get a mortgage rate lower than your current home one. Now, at the moment in the UK, I'm paying about 5.5% on most of my mortgages. I had a quick look online today, and I could go and get a Singapore dollar mortgage on my UK properties with a Singapore bank, and I'd be paying about 2.6%. Now, that's a 52% saving every single month. That would slash my mortgage cost in half. Now, the money that's left over, I could then potentially invest further, or I could actually pay some of the debt down, or I could just go off and buy a sports car. It doesn't really matter. The point is that I can reduce my costs significantly by using foreign currency mortgages. Now, this is just an introduction today. There are 3 different ways of doing this, and I'll look into each one of those in a bit more depth the next time. But in the meantime, if you want to find out a little bit more about this, go to this web address. It's www.maverick-investor.com/MCM. It's up there on the screen in front of you, and you can read all about it there. There is a manual there. That manual is not a downloadable manual. It's a physical manual, and that will tell you everything that you need to know about this. But if you want a little bit more information from me, then I'll be back in a wee while with another in this series. Thank you very much for your time. MaverickInvestor.com. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.